Hello and welcome to another reading vlog. This is part 2 of my 24-hour reading challenges, and again we have spun the wheel. And this time we have landed on horror. First we did sci-fi, so if you missed that vlog, go and check it out. And this time we will be reading the horror books that were on my TBR. Now this is also another category that has the least amount of books that were on my August TBR. So the mandatory reads for this one is Mexican Gothic and Allie. This one should be very quick to get through because it's a manga. I haven't had very many of those. Now, to date, I have either read 3 or 4 books for this month, and I am still planning on doing my 31 in 31 challenge. I am very behind, so I want to start making some progress. So I have these 2 books, which should not take me very long because I actually do have Mexican Gothic on audio through my Libby app. And like I said, this is a manga. They don't usually take me very long if I sit down and concentrate on it. Now, in terms of other books that could be read during this video, I ended up getting volumes 1 through 7 of Hell's Paradise for my H manga for the year. And so I could read those during this because it's considered like horror / fantasy-esque. So I really could count it for either or. And I have enough manga that could count towards fantasy. So I will be counting those for this video. I also could read The Puzzle Master, The Only One Left by Riley Sager, Sign Here by Claudia Luck, Dead 11, Just Like Home, Death on the Nile by Agatha Christie, and then There Were None by Agatha Christie, and Natural Creatures, which I would need to read with Benson, Sherlock Holmes and Cthulhu, Apples Never Fall, The Year of the Witching, and The Devil in the Dark Water. So those are all of the options that I could read in this video. Books, like all of the horror books that I have not read that are on my shelf. So I'm really excited for this one. This is actually the genre that I really wanted to start out with because, first of all, Allie, which is the new Junji Ito manga that my fiance recently got for me, and I've been very excited to pick it up since then, and I've been eagerly awaiting picking it up since they put it on this TBR. And Mexican Gothic, I have already tried to read twice and just didn't make it very far into it. So if I don't read it this time, I will have to unhaul it. So I really do want to get to this. And I don't know, I'm kind of feeling in a little bit of a horror mood. And I have enough short books on here that I could hopefully catch up on my reading challenge. So that's what I'm going to jump into now, and hopefully we can make some more progress in this, and I won't take as much time as I did with the sci-fi. So I will check in with you in a little while. I think I'm going to start with Allie, which really should not take me very long to do. Mainly because I'm the most excited about this one, probably out of any of the books that were on my TBR. Since we last talked, I have about 21 hours and 35 minutes left in this challenge, and I've managed to finish 2 books. Of course, they were some of the shorter books on my TBR, but the first one is Allie, and of course I gave this a 5-star, as I give most of his works. I very much enjoy Junji Ito. This is, again, a collection of stories that take place in his sick, twisted mind. I really enjoyed this. I thought it was really scary, and yeah, for some reason my anxiety has been acting up pretty badly the last couple of weeks, and this really didn't help, but I really can't fault it for that. I did have a very good time reading this and managed to read it all in one sitting, even though it's a pretty chunky book. I also read the first volume of Hell's Paradise, and I just thought this one was okay. I do think it's a very interesting premise. It basically follows this guy who's a very well-known assassin, and he has this opportunity to be pardoned for all of his crimes if he can find like elixir of youth, I think. Yeah, it's like an immortal elixir. So I thought the first one was okay. I'm really enjoying the art style. It's kind of different from a lot of other mangas that I have read, so I thought that was really cool and interesting. I do think it was a very good setup. And I definitely will be continuing on with it. I just don't think I was the most invested. Now I have to go get ready for work. But I do have the audio for Mexican Gothic on standby, and I'm going to try to get a chunk into that. Since we last spoke, I have finished Mexican Gothic, bringing me to 5 books in my 31 days and 31 books in 31 days challenge. I am still very behind, but I have, you know what, I finished one. And I'm almost done with another one. But hopefully you'll see that vlog before you see this one. Anyway, I don't really know what I thought about this. So this follows Noemi, who gets a letter from her cousin saying that like she's in trouble and she needs help. And so Noemi goes to this mansion that holds some very dark and mysterious secrets, and she has to figure out what's going on and how to protect her cousin and possibly herself. So I thought this was okay. I think maybe it was a situation where the hype got the better of me and I was expecting a little bit more. This is also kind of the third time that I had tried reading this book. And, you know, I did finally finish it. Third time's the charm, but I don't know. I just think in a story like this, you really want like the haunted house to kind of feel like a character. And I feel like it was trying to do that, but I don't think it quite hit the mark for me. So unfortunately this ended up being like a 3-star read. While 3-star reads aren't bad, I think I just expected a little bit more from this. And unfortunately my copy got a little bit busted up while sitting in my backpack. The one time I forget to put it in a book sleeve. So there's that one. I have since started listening to the audio for The Puzzle Master, which I don't think I've talked about much on this channel, but this follows a man who was in a very bad car football accident. He had a really bad brain injury, and since then he was kind of left with like a mental superpower where he's able to solve puzzles very quickly. And he ends up getting this letter from this woman who's serving time in prison, claiming that he's kind of the only one that can help her. So it kind of takes off from there, but it's supposed to be this mystery thriller filled with puzzles and twists and turns at every corner. And I'm not that far into it. I'll probably most likely end up finishing this tomorrow because I ended up picking up a shift at work. And I'll be in a department where I actually can focus on listening to an audio, so I might end up doing that. But I am actually really excited about this one because I really do like anything involving puzzles, like especially things like this. I'm excited. And but we are looking at a little over 16 hours at this point, since finishing Mexican Gothic, and I'm not going to calculate, since I'm listening to this on audio, I'm not going to calculate this until I like finish the end. I'm trying not to like calculate or like stop and start the timer when I'm listening to audio, just because like if I stop the audio and then stop the timer, like I feel like it's going to take, like the time's not going to be 100% accurate. So I'm just going to calculate the amount of time that I spent listening to the audiobook at the end. That's what I did for Mexican Gothic, and it came out, I would think, pretty accurately. But once I'm done with this, which will probably end up happening tomorrow because it is already pretty late, and I'm kind of getting tired. Like, I probably could stay up, but because I picked up that shift, I do want to get some sleep in a little bit. But I do need to start reading some more of Hell's Paradise because I have still only read that first volume, and some other books. I also forgot to mention that I could finally finish Antique Hunter's Guide to Murder in this vlog, because even though it's not horror, it's like mystery. And I tend to classify horror, mysteries, and thrillers all in one genre. So I could also listen to that or finish that in this vlog. So that might be my plan after the Puzzle Master. So it's been a while since I've last updated you. And I think since last time I talked to you, I told you that I was going to be reading the Puzzle Master after Mexican Gothic, and I've since changed my mind on that. So I did listen to a couple of hours of it and just found that I wasn't really invested in the story. I didn't really know what was going on, so I did waste a good amount of time on that. So I have about 13 hours left in this challenge. I think a little over 13 hours, and we're getting ready to start packing for our trip to Florida. We leave tomorrow afternoon, so I do have to figure out what I'm bringing with me on this trip. We're gonna go see some of my family, so I doubt like I'm gonna get a lot of reading done, but we'll spend a good amount of time like at the airport, and like between seeing my family I'm sure I'll have some prime reading time. That is if I don't bring my Switch, because I've been addicted to playing Potion Permit for the last like week, which is like I haven't really gotten any reading done. So I have options, and I'm not really sure what I'm going to be bringing with me, but like I am kind of gravitating towards just like home, but I don't know if that's what I want to bring. Whatever I just know it has to be something that fits into my backpack, so I don't think any of my bigger hardcovers are going to pass. Anyway, I just wanted to give you that quick little update. Again, I'm not sure what I'm going to be bringing or packing with me, but hopefully it is something that will keep me entertained enough that I can give you a better update the next time I talk to you. Okay, I haven't checked in with you at all since we've been here, but we are at the hotel, and I have not gotten any reading done. Yesterday we spent the day with my aunt, kind of shopping around, and we did visit my grandfather for a little bit. Today we're spending most of the day with my grandfather. We're going to one of his favorite places in town. But I did want to show you that I kind of broke my book buying ban. My philosophy is usually if you're on vacation it doesn't count, and I'm kind of sticking with that. So I did want to show you a couple of the books that we got. I only bought 4. Benson bought 3. One of them was Spider-Punk Battle of the Band. I've been looking for something Spider-Punk related since I saw, what was the movie?
Across the Spider-Verse.
Across the Spider-Verse. I keep wanting to say Into the Spider-Verse,
no,
and it's not that one. Across the Spider-Verse. I've been wanting something involving this character for the longest time, so we got that. Then I ended up picking up How to Become a Dark Lord and Die Trying. This is one of my most anticipated reads since I heard about it, and I'm very excited to have it in my hands. Same thing along the lines of Butcher and Blackbird, which this one is Benson's favorite because I keep describing it as Dexter but make it sexy.
Fucking weird.
If you didn't know, Dexter was like the first show that Benson and I watched together. And then I ended up getting Between Commitment and Betrayal. This is the first book to, oh gosh, don't even ask me what the hell it was called, but this was the sequel to this was the book that Connor and MK and I read for our book club, the only book we've actually managed to complete so far, and I'm still waiting to hear from them on Court of the Vampire Queen. So those are the books I got, and then Benson picked up The Three Body Problem, The Reckoning of Rogu, which we still haven't, like, they still haven't read Kyoshi, but it's a gorgeous cover, so I told them to get it anyway.
I want all the Avatar books.
And The Silmarillion, which, of course, again, they're never going to read, but it is pretty.
I will read it the next millennium.
Honey, most people have that on their shelf for years, and they still don't read it, and those are like readers.
I read that in a month.
You did?
Back in high school.
Oh, you're not in high school anymore. You
I
don't
know.
read.
I'm more depressed.
Anyway, like I said, I'm going to try to get some footage today when we're out and about. I'm going to be hanging out with my grandfather for a bit, and then I think we're parting ways for a little while, and then we might meet up again before we come to the hotel. So that's the plan. I just wanted to tell you that I broke my book buying ban for the first time in 3 months, but it shouldn't matter because I'm hopefully off it anyway by the end of this month. I don't think I've talked to you since we have been home, but I don't even know if I told you that I was reading this. I've started I'll Be Gone in the Dark. This is a nonfiction true crime book. It's actually been pretty popular on BookTube, about the Golden State Killer and about our author who has pretty much taken it upon herself to try and capture him, and unfortunately she passed away before she was able to finish the book and before he was captured. So it's basically like the people around her like took her notes and compiled it into this book, and it's taking me actually a lot longer than it really should to get through this. And I know I say it a lot, but I really am a slow reader. So I think I'm down to like 7 hours left, and I've still got about 150-ish pages left. But because it is mainly composed of her notes, it does feel a little bit choppy in some parts. But I feel like I'm getting to know certain people, and then like we're immediately switching to somebody else, so it feels like a little choppy. Obviously we're mainly going on her notes, like she didn't actually have time to sit down and edit it and all that, so it kind of shows in this, but I am really invested in it. I don't want to say I'm enjoying it because obviously this is like a real true crime investigation, but I am invested in the story, and like I'm learning a lot about, like, one thing I really like about this is it does delve into the lives of victims, and I feel like that's what a lot of true crime documentaries or podcasts forget to do. They forget to acknowledge like the victims and actually tell their story. I feel like I know every time I listen to a podcast or watch a documentary, I know more about the serial killer, you know, more than I do the victim. And it's probably one of my least favorite things about the true crime genre. Still, I am very invested into this story and I would like to continue going, and I'm just not sure how long this is going to take me. I do have most of the day blocked off just to read. It's already almost 4 o'clock though, and clearly I'm not getting through this nearly as quickly as I would like to. So we'll see what I have time to finish after this. Okay, I've officially finished I'll Be Gone in the Dark by Michelle McNamara. And I don't think I have any other opinions on it. My opinions from the beginning still stand. I don't typically rate nonfiction, but for the purpose of Battleathon, obviously you get points based on your star rating, so I did end up giving it a 4-star just because of those little nitpicky things. Otherwise, I think it is a very put together and thought out and passionate project that you can tell the author very much cared about. So I think if you are into true crime, if you are into nonfiction, definitely check this out if you have the opportunity to do so. Obviously, be mindful that it is true crime. There are some horrific details and some horrific acts that are described in this book, so please be very careful with that if you do decide to take my recommendation. I had about 4 hours left when I finished that and realized that I really only had 2 options. I could pick up Agatha Christie's And Then There Were None, which is over 200 pages, so it probably would have taken me a little longer than the 4 hours that were left. Or I still have a cozy mystery, which I combine with horrors and thrillers, but I still had one of those on my currently reading on my Goodreads. And I have about like less than 100 pages left of it. So it might not take me the entire, a little more than 100 pages, like 130 pages left of it. And I doubt it's going to take me the entire 4 hours, but I really could make some progress in the Antique Hunter's Guide to Murder for this vlog and then see where I end up with that. After this, I'm going to be very honest, this is probably going to be the last book of this vlog, even if I don't manage to finish the 24 hours, because there really isn't anything else that I'm going to be able to finish in this vlog, and I don't want to start something else. Especially because I don't think I have any horror manga or graphic novels that I could add to this, unless like I do include more of Hell's Paradise, which I wasn't going to, but we'll see where it goes. Benson is streaming tonight, so I am going to use this as some prime reading time. I do, however, go back to work tomorrow, so I'm going to try not to stay up as late as I have been, but I can't make any promises about that. Okay, now technically I still have 14 minutes left in this vlog, but I'm gonna call it here because not only have I finished An Antique Hunter's Guide to Murder, but I have also finished a volume of Hell's Paradise. I know I said I probably wouldn't, but I lied. It's been known to happen. Antique Hunter's Guide to Murder, unfortunately, is the only book this month to get under a 3-star. I ended up giving it a 2-star. The reason that I put it down to begin with was just because I wasn't really invested in it and didn't really care, and it was taking me far too long to get through a 280-page book when it really shouldn't have taken me that long. I ended up finding the audiobook and finishing it on there today. I just didn't care about it. I don't think I explained what this is about, but basically we are following Freya, who used to be into like antique hunting, and something happened in the past where she was no longer able to do that. She kind of got thrown out of the antique hunting game. And then the guy that she was doing it with, an older gentleman who is a friend of her aunt, something happened between them that like she's never forgiven. And then he ends up passing away. The police think it was an accident, but her and her aunt think there was more involved. So they're trying to get to the bottom of that. And I just feel like it really wasn't very intriguing. It put the boring in cozy mystery. Like, there really wasn't anything fun or exciting. Like, there were just so few characters that could have done it that it just, like, the reveals weren't very exciting, and I didn't particularly care. I know it is the start of a series. I don't know if I'm going to continue with the series. I very much doubt it. In all honesty, I think I'm just gonna end up unhauling it, because I don't know, like, this should have been like my perfect cozy mystery, and it wasn't, and I'm kind of disappointed by that, and I should have listened to the booktuber that I've heard about this book from, because she didn't like it either. And then I did read the second volume of Hell's Paradise, which I think was better than the first one. I do still think that, like, there are some little nitpicky things that I didn't like about this volume. I feel like there's a lot of perspectives that we're getting, and they haven't all really come together as to who these people are and why I'm following them. I do really love the world in this, though. I think it is such an interesting, entertaining, and like kind of diverse world. However, I just don't know if I particularly care enough about our characters, if I really understand our characters' motivations completely. Either way, I am intrigued enough. I feel like the pros and the cons are kind of neck and neck, to the point where I feel like I need to read more in order to give it a fair judgment. So it's doing its job in that, because it's making me want to read more and see if I will eventually grow to love and care about these characters. But like I said, I am ending this vlog here. And I very much did end up reading a lot more in this one than I ended up reading in the sci-fi one. So just to wrap up what we ended up reading 6 books. One of them I didn't even talk about in this vlog and didn't realize it until after I was editing, or I started editing. So I read Allie by Junji Ito, which is the newest edition that was released in the States. And of course, loved it as per usual. Read the first Hell's Paradise book, which I just thought was okay. Mexican Gothic, again, just okay. The Edgar Allan Poe manga collection, which is the book that I read in Florida and forgot to talk about in this vlog, which I really enjoyed. I think I gave it a 4-star. It was really just a collection of stories written by Edgar Allan Poe in manga form. And it included a couple of my favorite Edgar Allan Poe stories, so that was really fun to read and see in that edition. I'll Be Gone in the Dark, which was my nonfiction read of the month, which again, I was very interested in, very much loved the passion behind it, and again, highly recommend if you have not read it already. Antique Hunter's Guide to Murder, and the second volume of Hell's Paradise to lift me with 4 minutes in this whole vlog. Oh, and soft DNF'd the Puzzle Master. So we had a bit of a variety of ratings in this. Still had a very good time. Obviously, this was kind of half and half of a horror vlog slash my vacation vlog. Like, I was gonna do like a whole nother vlog for the vacation, but it just didn't make sense with all of the other plans that are going on this month. So that really is all that I had to tell you. I think this vlog was really interesting. Very much an up and down kind of situation. And I will hopefully see y'all in the next one, which is going to be my romance vlog. And honestly, I'm very excited because I've already started reading the first book for that vlog, and I am loving it so much. So if you want to know what that book is, you will have to check that vlog out. Hopefully it'll be up in a couple of days. So thank you so much for watching this, and I will see you again hopefully very soon. I love you. Bye.